I'm live. Let me turn it up. I normally never go live at this time, as you guys know. I normally go live on Sundays. But I'm sitting here checking YouTube comments. And somebody had asked me if I could go live. Hi. Somebody had asked me if I could go live to talk about everything that's going on right now. Because for anybody that knows, I am currently locked on Twitter. Hi. I'm locked on Twitter. They locked me on Twitter for 7 days. Darian. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. Darian, let me make you a moderator. I'm about to make some of y'all moderators just in case, because I know probably a lot of my normal moderators are not going to be here. Alex, you, Idol, you, Dominique, you. So if y'all see some people getting out of pocket, Trucker, you go ahead. Y'all can feel free to block or whatever you want. Hi. I got locked out of Twitter. I got locked out of Twitter for 7 days because I'm okay. I'm good. You guys know I don't care. I don't care about this stuff. Crystal, you could be a mod. Look, there go one right there. Bye. So, yeah, I got locked on Twitter for a whole week because the Bruno stands are like losing it and they're reporting me. Oh, for all the people that I just made mods, you have to put to block people, you have to put hide from the channel. Don't click on anything else. Or else you'll just put them in like a timeout or whatever. I don't know what that shit is, and they'll be right back. So make sure you hit hide from the channel to block them. So Twitter locked me out because Bruno Mars stands are reporting me. And it's like a lot of them, like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, I don't know, fucking millions. And they're reporting my account. And so and this has also happened to me on YouTube. Hi. This has also happened to me on YouTube before as well. So like, I'm like, whatever, I'm fine with it. It's not a big deal. Basically, the way that most of these like things like work is that since so much content is uploaded to like the internet, like Twitter and YouTube and like all that stuff, everything is basically ran by like algorithms and stuff like that. And so most of the times the way that it happens is that if I feel like it just got dark. Why did it did. Let me like brighten it up. Okay. And the way that most of that works is that once it gets like tripped a certain amount of times, it just tends to like automatically like block the person. So like for example, if like a thousand people in 5 minutes report my Twitter account as like spam or as like putting hateful information, whatever. If like enough people put it, then the algorithm is going to just like automatically get like tripped and it's going to like lock me out. And that's basically what happened. And it locked me out for 7 days. And I've been, as you guys have heard me talk about before on Beast Big, somebody asked me once, like, why am I not on Twitter that much? And I was like, because the Twitter rules are like arbitrary and absurd. Because I've also I got locked on Twitter for a whole week, also 7 days, for saying that like Miley Cyrus is a cultural appropriator and that she's white trash. Miley Cyrus like stands reported me to death and got me locked on Twitter for 7 days. That was the first time I got locked out of Twitter for 7 days. And after that, I was just like, oh, fuck Twitter. Like, Twitter sucks. Like, nice. Like somebody already said, like Nazis could get verified and people could call you nigger all day and night on Twitter. But when you like call out cultural appropriation or when you like call somebody a culture vulture or when you call them white trash, now all of a sudden you're like crossing a line because those people have like the numbers, the fans. Like Miley has like millions of fans that reported me and got me locked. Bruno has like millions of fans that are reporting me and so they're getting me locked. So anyone that has like seen me talk about this on Beesbick and stuff, you guys know already. That's why I don't fuck with Twitter. So So somebody was like, "Oh, since you're locked on Twitter, can you like go live and like address like what's going on or whatever?" I have not seen anything. I haven't seen anything that's on Twitter because I'm not on Twitter because I can't get on, like I can't even get on. Like if you go look on my Instagram, what I posted on Instagram, as soon as I even try to open Twitter, it just gives me that page that says like your account has been locked. And then it gives you like the fucking countdown. Like in 6 hours and 23 days, you can get back on. Yeah, maybe I'll make like a backup account. Maybe I'll make like a new account. But I really don't care about Twitter that much. I feel like Twitter is on some bullshit. So like fuck Twitter. And I also haven't really even seen like what is going on Twitter because I can't log on. So I don't know, maybe that's like a blessing in disguise because I can't see shit because I can't, every time I try to open it, it just gives me that page saying that I'm like locked out. So I don't care about Bruno Mars, as everyone knows. The funniest shit about the Bruno situation is people that are saying that, oh, I said that about Bruno Mars, like just because he won the Grammy. I use the Grammy as an example, but the funniest fucking shit, you guys know, like I've been talking about Bruno Mars for years. Like that shit is so fucking funny. Like my first Bruno Mars video, which is literally called, I'm on the iPad and the iPad's like shaking, sorry. My very first video that I made about Bruno Mars is from like 3 years ago, right? And you guys know, and it was just called like On Bruno Mars. And that was when I even first started like thinking about like, what the hell is going on with this dude Bruno Mars? Like, I don't know how I feel about like this dude's like appearance and like what he's doing and shit, right? Just Nicole, your name is Just Nicole, and I know I always call you Just Nicole. I'm gonna make you a mod, babe, because I see you. And so it's so funny to see people be like, oh, you only saying this because he won the Grammy and you want the clout because he won the Grammy. Where were you a few years ago? I'm like, bitch, a few years ago I was right here talking about Bruno Mars. Like, that shit is mad fucking funny. That shit's like mad funny. It is about something recent. It is about something recent, Chocolate Chunks. So, like, I've been talking about Bruno Mars. I made like at least 3 Negro Diamond Strikes Again. Yo, I be predicting the future. I be predicting the future. Y'all. I be predicting the future. It's so, yo. It's actually starting to get like a little bit fucking like weird, y'all. It's like really starting to get a bit strange, to be honest with you. So like 3 years ago, I made a video on Bruno Mars. Like, is Bruno Mars a cultural appropriator? And then when Bruno Mars did the Super Bowl show with Beyonce, I made another video. I was like, y'all, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't think I like this. I think this man is a cultural appropriator. And then when he did that song with Cardi B and that video with Cardi B a couple months ago, I did another video about Bruno Mars, right? And then it just kept getting, and then Bruno Mars won the Album of the Year Grammy, and all of a sudden it became like a cultural, like conversation, like within the culture, quote unquote, of like, is Bruno Mars a cultural appropriator? So then Ashley decided like, oh, we're going to talk about it on the Grapevine. And of course they wanted me on there because I've been talking about Bruno Mars, is he or isn't he a cultural appropriator, for like years. So I go on there and I say on the Grapevine the shit that I literally been saying on my own channel for like 3 years. And that shit like broke the fucking internet. It's so weird, y'all. It's so weird. It's so fucking like wild and out there and bizarre. And I'm glad that I could be live so y'all could like see me. I'm not tripping. I'm not upset. Like, I'm not mad or anything like that. I'm not tweeting. People are like, why am I not tweeting? I'm not tweeting just because I'm locked out of Twitter. Like, I'm chilling, Seren, can you tell me the winning lottery number since you predicted future Ebony? I'm about to make you a mod. You goofy. I'm about to make you a mod. So it's just like, oh, wait, nope. I hit the wrong person. Oh, I hit the wrong person. It's moving too fast. I hit the wrong person. Ebony. You're a mod now. Man, sis, they late. It's so obvious your energy bothers them. Keep it up. So that's so weird to randomly go viral, right, Carla? Yo, mad weird. Literally, Serenia, the patron saint of anti-Twitter. Yo, Matt, just like really weird and like really, really, really intense. And so It's just funny. They've been taking random tweets of yours and putting out of context to make you look bad. Oh, I don't care about that. Yeah, somebody texted me and was like, I didn't mean to make you one, Jennifer. Sorry, I just took it away. Viral over someone who's not even black. Yo, that's the funny shit too. That's the funny part. So yeah, somebody had texted me something about like an old Aaliyah tweet, which I don't care. Everything that I tweet, I stand behind my tweets. Like, I think before I tweet. I think before I speak. I speak about things that I know about. Like, Olivia, I see you all the time too. I'm about to make you a mod too. So it's like, my friend texted me like, oh, people mad about your Aaliyah tweet also. And I was like, what tweet? And he was like, oh, where you said that Aaliyah is more famous because she died. I was like, that's how I feel. Like, that's how I feel. Like, I don't care. So that shit is funny too, to see people that's like mad about, I don't know, they mad about my opinions. I don't know what they're mad about. Like, I don't know what they're mad about. Like, I don't know what they're fucking mad about. So, or you could disagree, or you could be mad, or you could feel some type of way, but everything that I say, I mean it. Like, I did that Newsweek thing, which you guys saw. Have you guys seen that? I'm like on Newsweek. They like wrote about me on Newsweek. And the person emailed me and was like, oh, is there anything that you want to clarify? Because that's just like a 2-minute clip. I was like, well, if people want to go watch, we did a whole part 1 and part 2 on the Grapevine. That's a whole hour. If people want to go watch like our full nuanced conversation. And then I was like, but I don't want to clarify anything. I feel like what I said was perfectly fucking clear. I didn't say fuck to the lady, but you know, like, I don't want to clarify anything. I feel like what I said was perfectly fucking clear. And I said what I said. I don't need to clarify. I'm not backtracking on it. I don't think I like didn't make sense, you know? Like, I don't know what the big deal is. What's the issue? Well, I know what the issue is. The issue is just that people are like wild stans and they like worship these celebrities and they feel like all these celebrities are above reproach and cannot be critiqued. And I've said the same thing several times about other celebrities as well. And that's it. And somebody sent me something saying I have a white boyfriend. I was like, what the hell is that? I was like, what? White boyfriend? I don't have a white boyfriend. Number one, I don't have any boyfriend. Number two, I definitely don't have a white boyfriend. I said what I said in a video, and this I think is pretty fucking funny too. What I said in a video, like an old video from a long time ago, I said I was not against interracial dating, right? And I said I've been in an interracial relationship before, right? And people hear that and they think white guy. But the gag is that the interracial relationship that I was in before was actually with a non-black Latinx Dominican chick. That's the gag! That's the gag! That's really the gag. That's really the gag. That's really the fucking gag. That's really the gag. Like, niggas reach. They stretch and they reach. And anybody that knows me in real life knows I was in a long-term relationship with a chick, like a Dominican girl, like a non-black POC. So it's funny. That shit is funny. And I also did say like, oh, I went on like a date with a white guy in the past, but I've like never ever in my life had a white boyfriend. I've never like seriously dated a white guy, like none of that. Like, so people have heard, but they have heard me say that I was in an interracial relationship and they just assume that means I dated a white guy, which is fucking funny. Just Nicole is, I know I'm saying your name wrong, but I'm just like so used to saying Just Nicole. I know your name is Just Nicole. Right. She said, yeah, interracial doesn't always mean a POC is with a white person. Right. Which we've talked about before, how like so often when we talk about interracial, and this is, you know, it's funny because if people watch like the whole Bruno Mars clip, I even say in that clip specifically in like the full video that came on the Grapevine, I even say, I was like, you know, here, especially in the United States, we think about race and we think about like racism in terms of white and black. Right, bro. Like you said, people think the only two races are white and black. Exactly. I feel like, and this is why I specifically said this on the Grapevine panel. I was like, especially here in the United States, we think in terms of this like white black dichotomy, but like white and black are not the only two races, right? Like talking about interracial relationships, even like a black person and like an East Asian person in a relationship, that's that's an interracial relationship, right? Like a black person and a non-black POC, like Latinx, that's an interracial relationship. But like here, what you said, what does dating have to do with the topic? Did you just fucking get here? Are you fucking late that you don't know why we're talking about it? Because if you're late and you don't know why we're talking about it, you could shut the fuck up and not ask questions. Because I see you. I'm live. I can see you. There's a reason why we're talking about this. If you just got here and you late, that's a you problem. That's not a me problem. So the thing is, just like I said on the Grapevine, is that we think about things in terms of this white-black dichotomy. We don't think in larger, broader terms about how non-black persons of color can also practice cultural appropriation, can also benefit from anti-black racism. Non-black people of color, Asians in particular, East Asians in particular, that kind of benefit from, the model minority myth and stuff like that. Like all that stuff comes into play when we talk about a Bruno Mars, who's like a prime example. When we're talking about non-black people of color and not necessarily white people, it gets the whole conversation, it tilts the whole conversation, as you can see from the way that people are reacting, right? Because people just think in terms of white, black. And a lot of people are saying like, oh, well, you don't talk about white people. I'd be like, boy, you could go to my channel. I have about 8 rant videos about Rachel Dolezal, about 5 about Iggy Azalea. I got a couple on Logic. I got about 3 on Miley Cyrus, 4 on Taylor Swift. I got a couple videos about Adele. Like, bitch, we talk about the whites. We don't like the whites around here. We talk about everybody. Like, we talk about everybody. But the reason why people don't like us talking about Bruno Mars and other types of people is, like I said, because we think in terms of this white-black dichotomy that when you throw a POC in there, it's like, oh, what happened? Like, what's going on with this? So it's really, really interesting. There's a lot of y'all. There's like 290 y'all. So there's no way I'm going to be able to keep up with this chat. I'm basically just responding as I see things. And I just wanted to come on because a lot of people were like, oh my God, are you okay? And you're not tweeting and stuff. And I'm chilling. Like, I just can't tweet because they locked my shit. So Bruno has no creativity. I'm tired of the same shit. Is it true that Twitter shut your account down? Sorry, I just got here. They locked me. They locked me for 7 days. They locked me for a week. What will I do if Bruno Mars reaches out and responds to you? I don't know. We could talk. I mean, I doubt he will, but I don't. What, we gonna go on Trevor Noah and I'm gonna extend a hand in love? That's what y'all want. That's what y'all want. I'm so surprised to see how many black people actually thought Bruno was black. A lot of black people think Bruno is black. And it's funny because in my very first ever Bruno Mars video that I did, we talk about that. And it's so wild because that video is literally 3 years old. And here we are 3 years later and we still having this same conversation. I really need to figure out how to channel this into winning the lotto. Like, you're right, Ebony. Like, I need to look up these lottery tickets. You're 100% correct. Rare Friday stream. Very rare. You could tell our grandkids you were here. Gucci! Logic is white passing. Yeah, somebody said, do I think Logic is white? No, but Logic is white passing, and I did a video on white passing privilege. Yeah. So there's that. You're all over my Twitter feed, legends only. Somebody was like, oh, Tariq Nasheed is supposed to be black, so black power, but he's siding over this non-black person of color artist and attacking this black woman. I was like, y'all know I got the jokes. Y'all know I got the jokes at all times. Y'all know I got the Zoom, the Zoom jokes at all times. Zoom, 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 zoom. Make your heart go boom, boom. Not extend a hand in love. I'm just saying. Oh, you just followed me on Twitter this morning? Well, I appealed. I appealed it. So maybe they take me off, but I'll be back. I'll be back in 7 days. Not extend a hand in love. People have been saying Twitter's been shutting down POC accounts. What the hell? He doesn't even look black. That's what kills me. And you know, I also said that on the Grapevine panel. Yo, it's mad funny that you could tell the number of people that did not watch the full Grapevine panel, which yet again is a whole hour. Like, we get very nuanced into the topic of this Bruno Mars thing. People are literally only watching that 2-second clip and like going off of that 2-second clip because niggas have the attention span of like a praying mantis in these streets. But even in like our longer fucking Grapevine video, I said in the longer one, I was like, you know, people talk about how they think that Bruno is black and like they don't know, you know, if he looks, you know, black or racially ambiguous. I was like, especially for us Black Americans, we have such like a wide spectrum of what we feel like black looks like, you know, because we've had like so much white blood basically raped into us that there's like a whole spectrum. I was like, but trust me when I tell y'all that to white people who are his audience, that man does not look black. He looks like a nice, safe, racially ambiguous, non-black person of color doing nigger music. Like, let's keep it all the way 100. Like, let's keep it all the way 100. But people don't want to watch a whole video because who wants to sit down and watch a whole hour of us talking about Bruno Mars when there's a 2-minute clip that you could just make a whole assumption off of. Like, this girl went and wrote on my Instagram. She was like, how come you never talked about Bruno Mars before he won this Grammy since you feel so strongly about cultural appropriation? And why don't you call out the white people like the Miley Cyruses and the Iggy Azaleas of the world that appropriate? And y'all didn't talk about, you know, how Bruno did this and did that. And I just was really like reading her comments like, you literally only watched that 2-minute clip. There's no way you watched the whole Grapevine video. There's no way you went and watched any of the videos on my channel. Like, there's literally no way, because I've done everything that you're talking about, and we also addressed everything that you're bringing up on this panel. So, and that's so wild to me. Like, you guys know how I feel about uninformed opinions. Like, people be having whole uninformed opinions and want to argue. Like, how you have an uninformed opinion and want to argue. Where they do that at? I don't understand. Like, you actually don't know what I've done on my platform. You have literally no idea what I've done on my platform, but you want to come and argue about what I have not done. How? How, Sway? How, Sway? How? That's my Kanye interpretation. That's my Kanye interpretation. I'm gonna save it. Scrambled eggs. I'm gonna save it. Not even sure why they need to watch the whole video. It was true tea. I'm just saying, because it's a lot of people that's bringing up. It's a lot of people that's trying to bring up and argue about shit that we actually addressed in the video. So it's like, if you watch the full clips, you would see that this was already talked about. This is a non-issue. You know what I'm saying? OMFG, they so late. This is everything you've talked about for years. You've been doing that. People do zero research. I legit said the same thing. If they're going to cancel you, they need to cancel everyone on that panel who shared your opinion when you literally brought up Iggy on the panel. I'm so done with people, right? But like, that's not the clip that got posted. Just a little 2 minutes of me talking about Bruno is what got posted. So that's what people are going to run with, which is fine, because that's people. That's people. That's people, right? It's cool. It's not a big deal. People love to get their hot takes in. You've dragged Katy Perry and Amy Schumer way more. Taylor Swift. Y'all know I hate Taylor Swift. I've literally done like a whole series of videos on Taylor Swift. I hate her. Fucking Iggy Azalea. I used to call her Australian Voldemort, like, because she's Australian and evil and a cultural appropriator. Like, I hate that bitch. Like, it's a lot of people that I hate. But people are like choosing to believe that I'm just like, oh, I'm just picking on little old poor Bruno Mars. Okay, that's what I'm doing. I'm picking on little poor Bruno Mars. How come the Libyan slave trade episode didn't blow up? Because niggas don't care about that. They care about Bruno Mars. You know? Hate to be the one to say it. He's okay with coming off black, but wants people to know that he's not. It's embarrassing. It's not about the truth. It's about being right. It's not even the white stands coming out for you. Bro, it's not. Yo, this has been the wild shit. I have had mad white people DMing me on Instagram talking about, oh, I loved your perspective on Bruno Mars. You have like really opened my eyes. But like the black Bruno Mars stands are pissed. That shit is fucking weird, y'all. Weird as fuck. Syringe drags all your faves. No one's fave is safe. I talk about my own faves all the time. Like, nobody's fave is fucking safe. Come on. I think Bruno knows this criticism, but he also knows this is some of his best impersonation work. Janae, I'm making you a moderator. You got it. Some of his best impersonation work. I'm done. People love to try and shape the narrative. Yeah, you go in on Taylor. A professional impersonator is what he is. What kind of cake am I going to bake? A chocolate cake with chocolate frosting. Black on black, obviously. I'm not going to bake no white cake. I got tired of hearing about Taylor. Outback Jane. You know. Pepsi Jenner, Amethyst Kelly. Y'all know. Y'all been rocking with me for a long time because y'all know all the old nicknames. I used to have a whole assortment of nicknames for white people that I did not like. Like, I talk about how much I hate them all the motherfucking time. You don't have to like Bruno Mars. Non-black Puerto Ricans claim African ancestry, but they're not going to claim being black ever. These people are noobs. I view Bruno as a Latino, like Selena Gomez or J-Lo. People act like you don't uplift and support black artists and creators or have a whole Hidden Figures series. If they spent 1 minute on any of your platforms, they would know that's not true. Oh my God, yes. Somebody was like, well, instead of talking, and I can't tweet, but somebody sent me this one too that was on Twitter. It was like, well, if you feel so strongly, then why don't you like support and uplift black artists, which is hilarious because I also on my first Bruno Mars video, I even said in that video, I was like, drop the R&B, funk, and like new wave and like New Jack Swing artists that y'all like in the comments. And people were like Anderson .Paak and like da-da-da-da-da. And I did the same exact thing when I made my video on Adele, where I had a lot of the exact same criticisms of Adele that I had on Bruno Mars. And I said the same thing. I was like, drop the R&B singers that you like in the comments. That shit is mad funny. Like, that shit is mad fucking funny. That shit is fucking hilarious. I think this defensive reaction to you is because somebody did super chat. I'm going to get to it, but whoever you are, thank you. I think this defensive reaction to you is because they never thought about Bruno Mars and now they somewhere feeling fragile instead of taking a reflective moment to examine their feelings. You know what? I agree. I feel like when you see something, people trying to be like, Serena is like out of her mind and this and that. I feel like when you see something that's like clearly like just rantings and like ramblings, right, out of your mind, you just like scroll right on past it, right? Like when you see something that's like clearly a bot, for example, on Twitter, you just scroll right on past it. I definitely feel like what I said got up under niggas' skin and they are reacting. Just like when I say shit that gets up under white people's skin and they fucking react. And I just be sitting back chilling like, Joy DeGruy was right. Niggas are suffering from trauma. It's a running joke online that you hate everything. I did a whole video called PSA, I hate everything. Like, I have my own running joke on it. So many things that should have blown instead of this. I like Adele, but she's overrated. If a black girl was to sing the type of music Adele does, they would not be popular. We have a whole video on her too. The people that think you're miserable because you're aggressive. Oh yeah, I'm so miserable. Like, oh my God. I'm just so jealous of Bruno Mars, guys. Like, I too wish that I could be a non-black person of color able to make millions of dollars and have millions of fans and win an Album of the Year Grammy for impersonating a black person. It sounds nice, doesn't it? Sounds nice. Just like when I fucking see white people that be getting these chance after chance after chance after chance, I'd be like, damn, being white really must be nice. Like, being a white guy really must be nice. Like, but I'm not gonna fucking be mad about it. Like, it is what it is at this point. Oh, I see you. Ah! Maki Moments gave me $10 for Bruno's cake. I hate your life. I hate y'all lives. I hate y'all lives. I hate y'all whole lives. I hate your whole lives. All of y'all. This situation is ridiculous. For real, it's not the white stands. My phone is blowing up. What is that song? Phone Going Crazy, or however that shit goes. Didn't they say he went by the name Mars to conceal his ethnicity? That was a rumor, but he did clear it up. People were saying that he went by the name Bruno Mars instead of his real name, Peter Hernandez, because he was like really trying to like play up the racial ambiguity. He said that was a rumor and it wasn't true. But even the fact that I have you blocked on Twitter, I can't log on Twitter right now. Oh, can I? Sorry, I didn't read the whole thing. Can I unblock you on Twitter in 7 days? Okay. People that don't know what they're talking about got a lot to say. Have my eyes doing such deep eye rolls that my body backflips to match. Black people are sheep. There's no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. Yes. Uneducated, bold people are in a sunken place, talking loud and saying nothing. An empty wagon makes the most noise. Serenity went off in the grapevine. I was slapping my table and screaming. People's reactions to your Bruno Mars comments proves how much we dislike ourselves. This Bruno Mars thing blowing up says more about what the masses actually give a fuck about. The grapevine has done so many more other important topics. Blaming the masses, not the grapevine. I agree, because there's so many people that are like, oh, well, why don't y'all talk about this or talk about that? I'd be like, literally on the grapevine, we talk about literally everything. We have a new episode every Thursday, and y'all don't watch, and y'all don't subscribe, and you don't support. Like, the grapevine only has like 50,000 fucking subscribers. But like Black Chat, which like came out afterwards, has like 100,000, 200,000, because all they talk about is mess. And all people like is mess. And that's fine. That's fine if all you like is mess. But then don't try to be like that people don't talk about important shit. Y'all don't even give a fuck about important shit. Like, let's keep it all the way 100, please. Come on. You were very articulate on the, I keep checking the time, because I don't know how long I'm going to be able to be on. Like, my phone is like really like blowing up. You were very articulate on the Grapevine video. Caught it while I was eating breakfast. That 24K album was cringeworthy to me. These Zooms. Only black on black. Killed me with the Wedding Singer karaoke joint. I need to learn how to zoom in like you. Hi. I'm live. Yeah, out of all the work and videos, this is what goes. Dick Logic! Oh my God, girl interrupted. Mod, because even I have forgot about Dick Logic, and I really used to call him that. I used to be like Dick Logic. I have a nickname for everybody, and that's also something funny too, because people are like that I'm picking on Bruno Mars, and I'd be like, if I'm picking on Bruno Mars, then I pick on everybody. I went pretty fucking easy on Bruno Mars, because y'all know how I go in. Like, if I'm picking on him, then I'm picking on everybody. Like, come on. Just like fucking Denzel Washington said in Remember the Titans, like, I might be a mean fucking cuss, but I'm a mean cuss to everybody. Like, I might be a bitch, but I'm a bitch to everybody. So don't try to make it seem like I'm somehow picking on little poor motherfucking naive, innocent Bruno Mars. Because that's the thing too. People acting like Bruno's so innocent and this and that. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of my face. These people are so wrong. They don't do the research. Black people defend Bruno Mars more than Monique and Tiffany Haddish. Moving on. I hate when people say that shit, like Miley and Iggy are going to get this work, being culture vultures, but that doesn't mean no one else can be called out. Okay, sorry to switch topics, but like going back. I posted a video this morning that was like Black women that shaped my life, right? And like uplifting Black women, right? That video has like 1,000 views and like 15 comments. And the majority of the comments being left that I'm having to delete are like troll comments about Bruno Mars. Like, but then people will be like, oh, you don't uplift Black people. Like, y'all don't care, and that's fine, but let's be real about it. Let's be honest. You know? Let's be honest. What Donovan said about the Filipinos researching and imitating black singers is so true. I was confused by why the Bruno Mars shit blew up again. I was like, didn't we already do this? Yeah. Hopefully this dumb issue to trend over will pump up Grapevine subs. I'm just behind because the chat's moving quick. I personally felt like Jay-Z should have won over Bruno Mars, even though I liked the Finesse remix. There are so many talented motherfuckers out there. What was the Aaliyah tweet about that they dug up? That I said that I feel like Aaliyah got more popular after she died. Which I think is true. But apparently that was inappropriate to say. Why? I don't fucking know. My mom tried to stand for Bruno, but when I mentioned Prince never won Album of the Year and Bruno did, she got silent. My mama loves Prince. Jay-Z at least has some level of artistry. I can't start the live stream over. It doesn't work that way. Oh, your phone died? What's up? Picking on more coded language. Yes, that I'm picking on him, right? That the mean, angry black girl is picking on the poor Bruno Mars. Okay, how about he hires a lawyer to fucking sue me then? Because I'm sure he has the money. Let's keep it all the way 100. Speak your speech. Woo! Sorry. iPad fell. Picking on a rich celebrity. What are my thoughts on Drake? I hate Drake too. I hate Drake also. I also feel like Drake is a culture vulture. I do. I think that Drake rides waves. He's a wave rider. He picks up on things specific, like culturally specific things that don't belong to him. And people that are a part of that culture. And this is where I think it gets like real, is that people that are a part of that culture try to speak out on it and call him out on it and be like, listen, like, we did this, or we made this up, or, you just wave riding, or, or Drake will like do a song. Didn't he do a song with somebody, one of those like Afrobeats dudes? And then he like took the Afrobeats dude like off the song. Like, come on, like Afrobeats is not yours. Like, that's not yours. Come on. That's just not cool. WizKid, yeah, WizKid, yeah. That's what I mean too. Popcan, yeah, the Popcan guy, yeah. I remember like when Versace and Drake has a history of like jumping on people's tracks and then removing them, right? I remember when like the Versace shit with Migos came out, and the Migos is all buddy with Drake now, right? But I remember when that shit first came out and the niggas from the Migos was like, we didn't need Drake on our song. Like, we didn't need Drake on our song to make our shit hot. Like, our shit was already fucking buzzing. Like, he talk about he made the Migos and this and that. Like, you a wave rider. That's not what's up. I'm not with that. No. Drake fucking sucks. And he's a thief. Like, and I don't like a thief. I think that's what it is. I don't like a thief. I don't like a person that steals real life shit. I don't like a person that steals, I don't know, music shit, internet shit. Like, I don't like a fucking thief. Like, don't do that shit. Like, it's not fucking cool. Like, it's not cool. Kanye West fucking be ripping off shit too. Kanye West jumped on that That's That Shit I Don't Like remix, and the fucking producer of that shit was like, get the fuck off my fucking track. You haven't paid me for this. You putting shit out there. You're making money off of it. You're making official releases, dropping shit on iTunes. Get the fuck off my shit. I don't like thieves. And y'all are fine with thievery, I guess. Y'all don't have no fucking morals. I don't know who raised y'all, but I was raised that one of the worst things you could be is a fucking thief. Like, I don't know. I was raised that one of the worst things you could ever be is a fucking thief. Oh, it's Popcorn. Sorry, not Popcan. Sorry. I was raised that one of the worst things you could be is a fucking thief. And it'd be mad thievery going on, and people feel like that shit is 100% fine. And I'm like, nah, that's just not cool. Not cool. And as like a creative myself, if somebody stole my shit, I'd feel really some type of way about it, which has happened. I've had people like rip videos and try to like re-upload them and like take mad shit, and it's not cool. Hi, Ashley. I see you. I see you. Like, nah, come on. Drake does not write his raps. No, he doesn't. No, he does not. Drake's white side is coming out when he's stealing. Now we about to have the Drake stands. Come on, y'all. Now we about to have the Drake stands here, mad yelling. Let's go ahead and stick to the topic at hand. Drake's father is from Memphis, isn't he? Yeah, he's like half African American. I thought this Grapevine episode was going to go viral because of Donovan and the Dreads guy fighting, not this. So we did too. But the funny shit is, I was like, I already know people are going to be like so mad because whenever I say anything about Bruno Mars, people get really upset. I'm British, Jamaican, and Ghanaian, so Drake really pisses me off. Culture vulture to the fullest. He benefits from mixed race privilege and is from the suburbs. He's a fake gangster. And he uses his biracial shtick, excuse me, to shapeshift. There is nothing Jamaican about Drake. Y'all funny. Drake is the best culture vulture. He does it well. House music is co-opted dance hall, and reggae and Jamaicans are sleep as fuck, and it pisses me off. Well, real, actual house music, not like what people are calling house music nowadays, was actually created by Black Americans in Chicago and Baltimore. But that's like really a different genre than what people are saying. Young Chop on the beat, ho. Yes. But that's like a different genre than what people are really calling house music these days. Oh, y'all talking about Kanye being a clone? Yeah. Drake really do take whole verses. Yeah. God's plan was 100% calculated. Drake is a marketing genius, just like the Kardashians. Drake is not even a rapper. He does spoken word with some crooning thrown in. I'm done. Y'all silly. Bruno Mars is one of the most successful artists out right now, but I don't know if he deserves legendary status. Right, and this is something that I've also said in every single video that I've made about Bruno Mars. This is also something that I said on the Grapevine panel about Bruno Mars, that not to take anything away from Bruno Mars, because Bruno Mars is an extremely talented fucking person. Like, Bruno Mars can sing, he can dance, he can entertain, he can perform, he could 100% put on a show. But it's a lot of people out there that could sing and dance and entertain and put on a fucking show. Wedding singers and karaoke artists and impersonators. And I don't necessarily think, and I said this literally in my fucking video that I made on Finesse, my car video. I was like, I don't necessarily think that makes someone an artist. Like, you're not an artist. You're not creating art. You don't have an artistic vision. Who could tell me what Bruno Mars' artistic vision is? Bruno Mars' artistic vision is a bunch of shit that already exists. Like, Bruno is not making anything new. He's not making anything creative. He's not making anything original. He's not making anything unique. He's not even taking the old shit and putting his own spin on it. He literally, like, move for move, steals dance routines. He literally, like, word for word, like, extrapolates lyrics. He literally completely redoes visuals, like that In Living Color video. What is Bruno Mars's creative, unique, artistic vision that makes him an artist? Nothing. And so that's why I say he's the karaoke singer. He's a wedding singer. He's the person that you hire to do Prince impersonations. And they come and they put on a great show at your wedding or your bar mitzvah. Or somebody was like, he's a bar mitzvah quinceañera artist, right? He comes and he puts on a great show and you love it because he's putting on a hell of a show. And then he leaves. Now, should that get to Super Bowl 50 performance status? Should that get to Album of the Year status is the question. And I don't think that that's a bad question, you know? But people just want to put on the music and have fun and be entertained. So they don't want to think about them questions. You know what I'm saying? Get what I'm saying? I see some people got bliggity blocked. Okay. Goodbye. Random motherfucking randomness. How do you guys on the Grapevine remain friends after? How do you guys not take it personally? Because we're friends. Like, We're really friends. Everybody in the grapevine is like really friends and like really homies. Just like how you could argue with your mom or dad or your brother or your sister and still be like, talk to them, still be cool with them. We argue exactly the same on the grapevine and it still be cool. And I also said this in the last Beast Bake. I was like, what a lot of people also don't know is after the cameras roll, even with that Bruno Mars shit, after the cameras roll, we keep talking. It started snowing in the middle of while we were filming that. Me, Tosh, Donovan, and Jeff split a fucking cab home. The whole ride in the snow, and the cab driver was driving slow as hell, right? This shit took about 45 minutes because it was fucking snowing hard as fuck. We continued talking about the Bruno Mars thing. Doug had said something yesterday on Twitter because they were like having a conversation in like threads about the whole Bruno Mars thing. And he was like, oh, me and Seren like talk later on. So like Seren disregard everything that's going on in this thread. Like y'all, it's not like we only talk while the cameras are on and then the cameras turn off and we just sit there in silence looking at each other. Like, no. I feel like even Drake stans know he's a culture vulture. A thief is a thief and should be treated as such. No permission or mercy, just punishment to the fullest. How you gonna have Drake and Bruno stans on you going to witness protection? Bruno is a trigger to a lot of people. It's weird. I'm a Drake stan, but I can't even be mad at this criticism. Drake is a fraud. House music was invented by queer blacks. Oh, somebody said they love my afro. Thank you. Yes, people are asleep on real house music. House music is black as fuck. Drake the Jafakin. You won the internet today. Jafakin. Drake signs artists onto OVO and makes him his ghostwriters. Yep, he have them in them OVO tents. Views from the tents. Shout out to Kali. Bruno is the world's most accomplished cruise headliner. Bruno is the world's most accomplished karaoke singer. Somebody said on Twitter yesterday to me before I got locked out, they were like, if Bruno is a karaoke singer, he's like one hell of a karaoke singer. I was like, yes, he is. I was like, he's the most talented and accomplished karaoke singer that you will ever see in your life. And kudos to him because none of us can take that away from him. Like, I don't have nothing like personal against Bruno Mars. I just call this shit how I motherfucking see it and people don't like that. Bruno Mars is talented, but he's not important or special. Aubrey Graham is a well-trained actor. That's why he's able to shapeshift like that. One day he'll win an Oscar, mark my words. Bruno's music is not going to stand the test of time. Yeah, I'm surprised nobody brought up the foil to Bruno Mars, Miguel. Yes, and you guys know that I fuck with Miguel. I love Miguel. Miguel is a prime example of inspiration, not recreation, right? You could look at Miguel all day and see the Prince influence. But is Miguel dressed head to toe like Prince? With Prince's hairstyle? Singing Prince's songs, doing Prince's routines? No. But Bruno Mars will dress head to toe like Bobby Brown and go and do some Bobby Brown choreography and perform a song where half of the song is extrapolated Bobby Brown lyrics and then be like, I'm inspired. No, bitch, you're a copycat. You're an impersonator. That's it. It's impersonation. That's it. And that's fine. It's tons of people making perfectly great livings off impersonation, one of which is clearly motherfucking Bruno Mars. I don't understand why saying that is making people so angry. Why is me saying that making people so angry? I don't know. Who could tell me? Y'all tell me. Y'all tell me. You're so right about that. A lot of people can't pick up on that. They try to compare him to Prince and Michael. Drake's been acting. Totally forgot about how useful that was to his career. Bruno is Mr. Copy and Paste. He's a wedding singer. Miguel is slept on. Bruno Mars is the Kenny G of black music. They don't want to pick that up. Too funny, but so true. They really want to force this living legend idea. Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Somebody said, blow you a kiss. I'm live. I can see you. It's not by force. Don't force this idea that he's iconic. Thank you. There's nothing transformative about him. I feel like we as black people are just fucking tired. Bruno only got status after he got his squad of black people and got an afro and sunglasses to hide his ethnicity is blackface. And I also said that on the panel. I was like, you know, when Bruno was making his cute pop ukulele music, which Bruno Mars was born and raised in fucking Hawaii, which people always, he loves bringing up how his father was like a Puerto Rican pimp from the Bronx or whatever. And people always bring that up. But Bruno Mars is not a Puerto Rican pimp from the Bronx. Bruno Mars is not even from the Bronx. He's from Hawaii, where he was raised with his fucking Filipino non-black POC mom. So when he came out doing the ukulele pop music, I personally feel like, this is my opinion, I personally feel like that was something more natural to Bruno Mars when he was doing the "Today I Don't Feel Like Doing Anything" with the monkeys and you know, like that. I feel like that was probably more natural, but that shit wasn't selling. And then he did fucking Don't Believe Me, Just Watch with Mark Ronson, and the white ladies ate that shit up. Ooh, don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch. And then it was like, oh, this is a lane. Like, this is a wave. Oh, I see. So I could fucking dress up in an all red zoot suit and perm my hair and wear my hair in a pompadour and wear all these gold chains and do doo-wops and hooligans, and people gonna like that. And then I could wear the afro and the dookie gold chains and the head to toe leather suit and the fat laces and my fucking shell toe Adidas and my Run DMC fucking bucket hat, and people will like that. Oh, I could dress in the cross colors and I could fucking do the 90s and live in color thing, and people will like that. And now I'm popping, and now I'm like one of the biggest artists, and now I'm getting invited to do Super Bowl 50. I don't think that shit is a coincidence, because people are also out here acting like Bruno was totally naive to all of this. I don't think none of that shit is a coincidence. Now, whether it's Bruno personally, whether it's a label, which we also talk about in the Grapevine video, if people watch the whole thing, which I know for a fact that I also said in the video, in the Grapevine video, when I was like, nah, I don't know if it's Bruno Mars personally, if it's a label, if it's a whole team of creatives and marketers and advertisers that decided that this was the lane they were going to put him in. But I don't think Bruno is this innocent, naive babe in the woods that doesn't know what's going on either. You know, they know what lane they're putting him in, because at the end of the day, we live in a capitalist society. Everything is designed to make money. The ukulele music wasn't making no money, right? This Run DMC Bobby Brown impersonation makes money. So that's what we're going with. It's fine. Let's talk about it, you know? Hi, Justin. I see you, babes. I see you. I'm live. I swear Bruno gonna bring back Soul Glow from Coming to America. Stop it. Y'all too much. Y'all silly. Let me see. It's so many of y'all. It's 315 people watching right now, so I don't know what's going on with this chat. Man, I really like the Lazy song. All this made me realize people will gladly give up the keys to our culture just because the person is likable and talented. Yeah, Bruno is currently getting sued for that song. Yes, 24 Karat was a result of Uptown Funk. He wasn't on that wave until that. And somebody else said that too on Twitter yesterday before I got blocked. Somebody was like, Bruno Mars is being sued by like Morris Day and the Time, and like Bruno Mars is being sued by like the Gap Band. He's being sued by all these people that he claims he loves so much, and he's been so inspired by them, yet he's being sued by them for copying. Like, people I think really don't know the difference between like inspiration and copying, which is why I'm glad somebody brought up Miguel, because that's a prime example of inspired by, but I'm not gonna just flat out copy everything. Come on. Yes, talk about a complete 180. Sprint is a literal embodiment of the Hannibal "Why are you boring me? I'm right" reaction pic. Does anyone remember the video of Seren imitating the white girl singing Nicki Minaj? Bruno will drop the black act when it's convenient. Watch. Bruno is protected because he's appropriating black culture. He's good at faking black charisma and upbeat tempos. He used to be out here singing piano ballads about women that left him. Bruh, I worked as a server for weddings. They play Bruno Mars and other black sounding music by non-blacks. And that's exact. I mean, and it's a brilliant fucking formula. Like, I could tell you exactly the moment that I remember hearing Uptown Funk, right? I'm standing in a coffee shop waiting to get a fucking smoothie, right? I'm standing there waiting, chilling. I hear coming over the speakers, "Don't believe me, just watch." I look, I'm like, bitch, they playing Trinidad James in here? What the hell? And then all the white ladies, "Oh, I love this song. Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch." And I'm like, okay, wait, no, this is not Trinidad James. Wait, what song is this? And then I'm listening and I'm like, okay, no, this is something else. And that's exactly the thing. Trinidad James saying, "Don't believe me, just watch, nigga, nigga, nigga," because that's the line, cannot get played in a fucking coffee shop with white ladies waiting for their smoothies. Bruno Mars and Mark Ronson, who's a white producer that has been sued several times by black artists, snapping and saying, "Uptown Funk It Up, don't believe me, just watch," can get played in a coffee shop for nice white ladies. And then they can go look up the video and they could look at white ass Bruno, at white ass, they see white ass Mark Ronson's name and they see Bruno in his little suits with his little nice black bodies as accessories, but bitch, they in the back. And they can fucking feel happy about that. They can't go watch Trinidad James all gold everything with no shirt walking down the streets of Atlanta with a bunch of shirtless niggas with all gold everything in the mouth. And I don't think that 24 karat and all this gold shit is a coincidence that he hopped on that gold shit too after Trinidad James made all gold everything. I don't think that shit is a coincidence either. If it's not Bruno himself, which it might not be, I don't know, is somebody in his camp, is somebody in his team, is somebody around him that's looking at black culture, black American culture specifically, and is extrapolating things from it for Bruno to make palatable to white audiences. And is that not what I motherfucking said on the grapevine? And does it not make sense? What am I saying that doesn't make sense? Who could tell me? Who could tell me? Nobody. That's it. That's how I feel. And I feel like I'm not fucking talking no wild mess the way people trying to act. People just don't want to fucking think about it. Simpletons. Simpletons! Simpletons. Oh, y'all talk about Wrinkle in Time. What? Oh, actually, you posted I'm live. Okay, yeah, I'm live for everybody watching. Charlie Wilson got his check recently. Black American culture is a public good open for grabs. Like, damn, I didn't know Bruno even had this many fans. Oh my gosh. A lot of them. When Bruno gets political, white people will turn on him. Just like a tweet I seen saying Bruno Mars makes black music for people that don't like black people. Yes, exactly. Bruno's an appropriator, not because he's trying to be malicious, but because the culture he's benefiting from is not his, no matter how many times he makes a video paying homage to In Living Color. Even if Bruno Mars did acknowledge his privilege, it still doesn't make him exempt from benefiting from how he looks or how white America is looking at him. Exactly. And I said the same thing in my Newsweek interview, and I also said this because me and Ashley were talking about it, like texting. I was like, listen, I also feel like people go above and beyond to make excuses for these people, because people be like, well, what do you want Bruno to do? Like, what do you want these artists to do? And I'd be like, what I want these artists to do is use their privilege, which I have a whole video on privilege. It's literally called On Privilege. If anybody wants to look it up, I have a whole playlist called On that is on various topics, okay? There's a video in there that's also called On Bruno Mars, if you want to fucking see it. I feel like artists like Bruno Mars, like Adele, you know, like all these people, they need to use their privilege and the fact that they can enter into these certain spaces to say, you know, this is a racist fucking system. I said on the grapevine, I said, I respect. This is how I really know that people didn't watch that fucking video. I went on the grapevine and I was like, you know, I respect Adele. I might not like her music. I might not like what she represents in terms of the same exact thing. A Jasmine Sullivan could never get to where an Adele is. Like, you know, like it's the same exact thing. When we see like a white woman with a big voice, it's a novelty. When we see a black chick with a big voice, it's just another black bitch with a big voice. There's no novelty to that. So there's no reason to elevate them and get their albums to go diamond and shit like that. But you know what I respect? I respect that Adele went up on that stage and said, what the fuck does Beyonce have to do to get this award? In that moment, she was using her privilege as a white person, benefiting from a system that elevates her over other artists, to call that shit out. And I said, yes, white bitch, do it, Adele. Bitch, you earned my motherfucking respect. Like, Adele earned my respect in that moment. Bruno does not have my respect, because even as much as Bruno likes to talk about, oh, and homage, and I was inspired, and I was this, and I was that, Bruno won't fucking go up on that stage and be like, yes, I'm benefiting from my racial ambiguity that allows me to make black music palatable for non-black audiences. He's not gonna get up there and say that shit. And that's what I have a problem with. And then people act like that's asking for so much. Like, oh, that's asking for, oh, we're asking these artists for so much. We're asking these millionaire artists. We asking these millionaire artists that we have made rich by supporting them and spending money on their fucking records and spending money on their songs and watching them on TV, which is advertising, and going to see them live in concert. We spending all this money on them, but it's too much to ask these people to speak out about racism, to speak out about the system of racism and white supremacy that they're benefiting from in the industry, to speak out about the industry. We asking for too much. Y'all don't think that that's like so intense? I feel like that's like mad intense. I feel like that's mad intense to feel like we can't ask people that we give our money to speak out on issues that affect us as black people and as black fucking consumers. I find it so wild for people to think that we're asking for too fucking much. And for me, as far as I'm concerned, I really don't care if it's the fucking label. I don't care if it's Bruno himself. I don't care if it's his fucking handlers. I don't give a fuck who it is. What we're talking about at the end of the day is the system of racism, white supremacy. That's what we're talking about. And there are so many moving parts to the system of racism, white supremacy, which includes the fucking capitalist ass music industry, yes, that as long as Bruno Mars is benefiting from the system of racism, white supremacy, as long as he is benefiting from anti-black racism, as long as he is benefiting from being a conduit for people into black culture as a non-black artist, as long as he's benefiting from that and not speaking up, as far as I'm concerned, that makes him an agent of white supremacy. And yes, he could fucking die. I don't care. I said it again. I said it again. That's it. That's how I feel. I don't know what is going on. I don't know. Oh, you already got blocked. Soybeans. Like, and then people be like, oh my God, you can't say that. I'm like, I could fucking say whatever I want. I could damn sure call Bruno Mars an agent of racism, white supremacy when he's benefiting from anti-black racism. Yes, I can. He's complicit in the system, and that makes him an agent. That's it. I don't care. Yeah, I said it. What you gonna do? We gonna fight about it? Y'all talking about new white rappers, and I don't even have no, like, obviously those people are also cultural appropriators and assholes, so that's that. And I said on fucking the Grapevine panel, which is also how I know that people didn't watch it, because somebody brought up, might have been Tosh, somebody brought up white rappers. And I was like, I feel like, now maybe this is like me being like fucking naive and optimistic, but I feel like at this point, we can all kind of come to like a conclusion on like what, yes, white people be culturally appropriating. Like, I feel like that's not hard to say at this point. It's not hard to talk about white people being cultural appropriators, because now at this part, it's been 4 or 5 years of us talking about white people being cultural appropriators. It's been 4 or 5 years of us, talking about white people. We don't have to keep on talking about it. Obviously, these people are cultural appropriators. We don't have to continue to think in terms of this black-white dichotomy, because while we're thinking about this black-white dichotomy, you do also have non-black persons of color, the motherfucking K-pop. What the fuck is up with K-pop as a genre? People that are also non-black people of color that's trying to sneak up in this back door while we talk about white people. Everybody knows that white people are fucking culture vultures. We don't have to keep talking about white people being culture vultures every fucking day. What are the motherfucking Bruno Mars is doing? What are the motherfucking Ariana Grandes and I don't know shit about them. I'm just naming people. What are the motherfucking Selena Gomez's and Camila Cabello's who wants to talk about how immigrants made this country great? Fuck you, Camila Cabello. Like, I hate that. You guys know I hate that rhetoric, because it completely erases black Americans enslaved people that built this country, and also Native Americans that were already here. Like, the United States was not an empty land waiting to be filled by fucking immigrants. I hate that rhetoric, but like, we have to start thinking bigger and broader, and niggas don't want to think. And when you even try to think, they get mad. Big mad. My palms are melanin deficient. I hate my palms because they're white. It's true. I do. Just like I hate that black ass Wesley Snipes. Who knows that quote? Who knows that quote? Who knows where that quote is from? They don't want the actual gray area. Don't none of y'all know where that quote is from? Y'all are disappointing me right now. Come on. You know it. Don't be a menace. Palmsism. We are practicing We're palmists. We're the real palmists, okay? You see these pink palms? You see these pink palms? No pink palm raised against me shall ever prosper. Okay? None. Yep, don't be a menace, that cop. I hate that black ass Wesley Snipes. What else? I've been giving Camilla the side eye. I mean, I'm just like naming shit. I just feel like, and like I said, I literally did say this on the grapevine. I was like, it's very easy at this point in time and where we are in terms of our like collective consciousness around like racism and stuff like that. It's very easy to talk about at this point white culture vultures. Like, the Kardashians do something dumb, we can all kind of collectively agree that that shit was dumb and not they're dumb white girls. We can, like, we don't have to have a whole conversation about that every time. But once you start throwing in non-black persons of color that still manage to benefit from anti-black racism solely because of the fact that they are not black, people don't seem to understand that there's like a hierarchy. White people are at the top of that hierarchy. Yes, for sure. But then you do have non-black persons of color, and then you have black people at the bottom. So it's like, we can also talk about other things that are happening in terms of anti-black racism as it involves non-black persons of color. We can do that. It doesn't always have to be about a black-white dichotomy. It's fucking fine. You know, it's fine. Bro, super chat, super chat, super chat, super chat, super chat, super chat. Thank you, Sniper Fox. I see you. I watched one K-pop video and it was a mess. Like, for example, you guys know I hate Vice. Like, I hate Vice. I saw this Vice video that was on, I don't know, it was on like street culture in Korea or something like that, right? The whole video was talking about like tattoos and like gold chains and like rap music and hip hop and grills and the way that these people are wearing their hair and stuff like that, right? And they were like, oh, this is seen as not appropriate, but you know, this is just me. This is my culture. This is me expressing myself. Can I tell y'all that in this whole hour-long special on Vice, right? There was not one single mention of the fact that this is culture that was exported from Black Americans. Not one. There was not one mention of the fact that this was like, all of this is based around like hip hop and like trap hop and like all, there was like not one mention. Like, the whole framing of even the fucking video was like, that this was like Korean street culture. And I'm just like, see, this is what I'm talking about when we talk about how we have to like talk about non-black persons of color just a little bit more critically. Just a little. It really is easy to erase black bodies from black creations. I see people getting blocked. I mean, I know it's going to be a lot of trolls. That's why I was making more. Oh, and I'm about to make you a mod too. That's why I was making more mods, because I knew it was going to be a lot of trolls. Hi, Brookie. You not at work, babes? Like, I know y'all remember the Asians. I made you a moderator, Brooke. Brooke, you weren't already a mod? That's wow. I know y'all remember the Asians that pulled up to defend Peter Lang. People act like we can't talk about multiple things at the same time. Talk about the proximity to the center. I'm just saying. So correct about the need to consider how anti-blackness is perpetuated by other people of color. I think people really love Bruno Mars's music. I see you, Gucci. I see you, mulatto. Mulatto. I made a post about how Camila Cabello made herself darker on her album cover, even though she's white, and people came from my neck. K-pop is a whole other topic. Every black person needs to take a black music history course. Maybe then they'll be more passionate about the usurpation of the black voice in our music. Yeah. It's true. That's why it's a black fist and not a black palm. You know what's up. We are actually all biracial because of the pink palms. All pink palm lives matter. Bitch. Where are we? These trolls. Yeah, it's a lot of trolls. It's a lot of trolls. What's up, Ebony? Is everything cool? I see you. Hi, Belinda. Thank you. Wow, there's a lot of super chatters in here. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. People mentioned Beyonce and said that people didn't call her out on that Coldplay video. There was literally a whole video on BuzzFeed and people were calling her out. I feel like that's the thing too. People love, oh my God, sorry, this shit keeps falling. People love to also do that. Be like, well, nobody talked about this, this, and this. And I'd be like, actually, niggas, black people be the first ones also to like call out other black people. Like I remember when that Coldplay Rihanna Princess of China shit came out. It was a lot of black people were like, whoa, this Princess of China shit is like a bit inappropriate. Like the way that you're dressed and like the whole concept. I remember when that fucking Chris Brown Fine China shit came out. There was a lot of people that were like, this is a little bit inappropriate. But then when we talk about somebody like Bruno Mars or something like that, all of a sudden it's like, y'all don't even call out your own. Yes, we do. Niggas be very hard on our own. We are very hard on each other. Like, let's be fucking real. Come on. Stop with the games and the lies. I picked up the iPad, so it might be more shaky. Let me see if I can put it back down on the floor. It's like at a weird angle. Once you try telling a white person that so much of the music in this country was pioneered by black Americans, it's like you're erasing everything they've ever known. Yeah. Hey, Seren, I was at work today. I saw that you broke the internet. I was like, what has Seren said now? You already know. 112 voice. The white people trying to enter this conversation can have several seats. We hate ourselves. I'm sorry. I mean, I agree, but that sucks, doesn't it? Tweeting and trying to listen at the same time. Somebody said, yeah, we do. Oh, I'm trying to be a referee between my two dogs. So if I type something wild, excuse me. Okay, that's what it was. Everybody and their mama called out Beyonce for that, laughing my ass off. Yeah. Somebody was like, oh, so we're not supposed to say shit because they feel like something in the past was missed. Right? Beyonce in that Coldplay song. I see somebody got blocked. I think black people also have to reconcile that we were raised with white supremacist ideologies as well, and that it's so ingrained in our mindset as normal that we try to protect the oppressor. I agree. Oh no, Beyonce and Ree can get the work too, and so can Bruno. And I love Rihanna. You guys know I fuck with Rihanna, but like that fucking Princess of China shit was mad weird. Like it wasn't cool. I have a Patreon, Dream58. If you go, and I also have a GoFundMe. So if you go look on my about section of my channel, the links are there. That Coldplay video felt so off. Beyonce's involvement didn't make it less sketchy. We really are. You mean like we really do hate ourselves? On the Quiet Loud. I was one of the people that dragged Beyonce for that shitty video. Yeah. I agree. Thank you. You said my hair is awesome today. Thank you. We're hard on each other, but we don't care when our own shit is appropriated. Nothing goes harder than Black Twitter. They drag everybody. Serena and Gordon Ramsay need a show together. I think he's probably the only white she could tolerate. It was bland. I don't know how else to say it. It was bland. It wasn't seasoned. Gordon Ramsay is the only white person that knows about seasonings. Like, he'd be so offended by bland ass food. He'd be so fucking offended by bland ass food. And Gordon Ramsay is also the only white person that's like clean. Because he'd be like, this place is disgusting. We have to clean everything. And the other white people be like, what do you mean it's not fine that we didn't fucking clean our refrigerator for 3 years? And Gordon be like, I'm going to throw up. It's fucking bland. Gordon be so mad. He be pissed. He be furious. It was bland. That's like a real insult. Like bland food. He takes that shit mad personal. Those people who act like we don't hold our faves accountable are just anti-black and are waiting for us to slip up so they can call us out like we do them. We have internalized self-hate. They'll get it when white and racially ambiguous people become the face of I'm like tilting it too far, sorry. They'll get it when white and racially ambiguous people become the face of dancehall and Afro beats. Somebody said I love Gordon Ramsay. We're super hard on our own. No one wants to do their own culture's music because Black American culture, along with music, does not belong to us. It's for the taking. It's a cash grab. No one is above critique, not even your fave celeb. Everyone else gets to preserve their culture, but Black Americans have to share with everyone else. Nah, it's fucking bland. I'm glad you watched today's video, Chatty J. We were just talking about that. People would be like, oh, you talk all this shit, but you don't uplift. I'd be like, I literally posted a video this morning about Black women that inspire me. That's literally the title of the fucking video. My comments made it to K-pop Twitter. Well, I'm banned from Twitter for 7 days, so they're gonna have to keep that energy for a whole 7 days before I'll be able to respond. Rihanna was more of a muse in the beginning. Hopefully she has more control and say so in her projects. Why people will dress you up in any and everything. I wonder if his seasoned is really seasoned. That's a good question. He reads everybody in the room. Kitchen Nightmare is the best cooking show ever. That goes back to AA versus African culture. If Bruno picked up Afro beats, no one would care. The soup is dry. Love that meme. This shit is raw. If Bruno swears he loves black so much, which he never said, he just said he's inspired by our music, why doesn't he do his own culture's music? Ukulele, Spanish, and Filipino music. Can you please differentiate wearing something of someone's culture and cultural appropriation? Because I think most people don't actually understand what appropriation is. Which is actually, again, how I know that people didn't watch that Grapevine panel. Because we even talked about that on the Grapevine panel. Somebody asked me specifically what was my definition of cultural appropriation. And I said I feel like a huge part of cultural appropriation, and I think that this is something that goes over a lot of people's heads, is being able to be part of what we would say is like a dominant culture, or at the very least, not being a part of the subjugated or the oppressed culture. And so that means that you can pick up the traits of the subjugated or the oppressed culture, and it can be appropriate on you because you're dominant. Meanwhile, it's inappropriate on the subjugated culture. That is a huge part of cultural appropriation. Sorry, let me wipe my face. That is a huge, because my skin is like so dry. That is a huge part of cultural appropriation, right? Because you have somebody that is Bruno Mars as a non-black person. He can take things from black culture and be elevated to a certain level and it be seen as appropriate on him. It's appropriate for him to say, don't believe me, just watch. And that can be played in a coffee shop because he's not black. But it's not appropriate for Trinidad James, who is black, to say, don't believe me, just watch. That's not going to be played in the coffee shop. That's a huge, 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 huge part of cultural appropriation that we literally even talked about on the panel, and that people are just like hop, skip, and jumping right over. If you are part of a dominant culture in whatever, way, shape, or fashion, and you're taking things from the subjugated culture to use for yourself, and you're being elevated in a certain way because you have that privilege of not being a part of the subjugated culture, that's appropriation. That's appropriation. And that's also why, another example, people feel some type of way when you have people that enter into like queer spaces and LGBT spaces, and they pick up the slang and they pick up the this and they pick up the that, and it's cool for them to do it. But when like the queer people do it, oh, that's some gay shit. That's appropriation! That's appropriation. It's appropriation. I feel like I say the same thing over and over, and I feel like it makes sense in my head, and I feel like it's clear coming out. I don't understand what's the question. I don't understand what's the question. What's the fucking question? Where are we? Yeah, it's true. It's true, Miss Sophia. It's true. Miss Sophia home now. Miss Sophia home. Why did they ban me from Twitter? Because Bruno Mars fans are like reporting me in like waves, like thousands of them. So they banned me for a whole week because they were like, oh, you're being reported as hate speech and da 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 da. So I got banned for 7 days. I appealed it, so we'll see if I could go back, but that's what happened. She got banned because she told no lies on the grapevine. This is all reminding me of the time some Adele fan got on Twitter and was like, it took Beyonce 15 years to get where Adele got and only a couple. And Black Twitter was like, that's exactly the problem. Right. And that's a part of it, too. People want to live in denial and be like, no, this white artist or this non-Black person of color got to where they are just because they worked hard. Now, not to say that Adele doesn't work hard. Not to say that Bruno Mars doesn't work hard. But like Bruno Mars has an Album of the Year Grammy and like Beyonce doesn't have an Album of the Year Grammy. Do we really believe in our heart of hearts? Can we really say in our heart of hearts? Can we really say in our heart of hearts that we think that Bruno Mars got that Grammy because he works hard and works harder than Beyonce and puts out better music? Even if you don't like Beyonce, you really can't understate the critical and cultural importance and impact of her work. Can we really say in our heart of fucking hearts that we really believe that's the truth? If y'all really believe that that's the truth, then y'all are probably racist, and I just can't help you. Like, I just, because like Beyonce also, like if you do a side-by-side comparison, for example, of like a Bruno Mars or a Beyonce, which you can do because they've performed together. Beyonce could sing, Beyonce could dance, Beyonce could entertain, Beyonce can put on a show, she could perform, she's an entertainer, same as Bruno Mars. But Bruno Mars has won this like prestigious ass award that Beyonce, who's put out several critically acclaimed and culturally significant bodies of work, can't seem to get to in her career. And that's exactly like who said it? Who fucking said the quote that Viola Davis also referenced when she was like, I see on the other side of the fence all this fucking shit, but I can't seem to get over there. I can't seem to get over to that side of the fence. Like, it's nothing I could do that I can't seem to get over there. And people really want to think like niggas is just not climbing over the fence and walking over there. No, bitch, it's a fence there. We're being kept out because we're black, because it's racist. What else can I say? I don't understand. And I don't even like awards. Like, you guys know, like, Harriet Tubman. I'm like, God, all I'm thinking is Viola Davis. I'm like, all I'm thinking is Viola Davis, but I know it's not like Viola Davis. Like, who the fuck is it? And so it's like, come on. But people really want to just believe in their heart of hearts that black people aren't talented, or that black people aren't working hard, or that all these magical Adeles and magical Bruno Mars are just magically getting to these levels that black artists can't get to. It's magic, y'all. It's magic. It's magic. There's no reason behind it. Whatever y'all want to fucking believe. Whatever y'all want to believe. Whatever y'all want to believe is whatever y'all want to believe. I can't tell you. I'm unplugged from the motherfucking Matrix. And like I always say, in terms of value, I really don't even care about like awards and shit like that as like markers of value. But it's not about the award. It's about the larger system of racism, white supremacy that's at play and all these moving parts of it in a capitalist, racist, sexist, ableist, all the isms, white supremacist society. And people don't want to talk about, it's more important things. It's more important. Like, this is also a part of the system of racism, white supremacy. It is. Oh, I see somebody say red pill. This got posted on Reddit. Why do y'all even care? Red pillars? This don't even have nothing to do with white people. This is amongst the blacks and the non-black POCs. White people always try and put their nose where they weren't invited. Go somewhere, nosies. Nosies. Y'all nosy. Nosy. Sorry, I'm like moving all over the place because I'm holding the iPad. Sorry. I know this is going to be like hell to rewatch later. It's a fence and the fence has gatekeepers. Boy, the fence has Ferguson police officers patrolling with semi-automatic weapons. Like, yeah. For sure. Janelle Monáe and Bruno Mars cite Prince as an influence. Prince did not respect any of Bruno's homage enough to create with him. He collaborated with Janelle because he was inspired. I'm pretty sure K-pop and J-pop groups were inspired by black groups. Yeah, they were. Georgia Smith blowing up while people still barely know now is a parallel from a colorism standpoint. Old white male gatekeepers. Zoom in, they don't hear you though. Now is so talented. My husband's in the other room and he keeps cracking up at the volume. Don't care. I don't care. I'm so glad this happened. Random bees bake. I'm living. Yeah, because somebody was like, oh, like you should go live if you can't tweet. And I was like, all right. True, and it's not because she's a woman because less you talk about Beyonce. It's not because she's a woman because less talented women have won it too. Taylor Swift and Adele. How can that be explained in any other way than racism? And Taylor Swift has 2 Album of the Year Grammys. Now Taylor Swift writes very catchy pop songs. Like you really can't take away like her songwriting ability. But Taylor Swift cannot sing. Like Taylor Swift can't sing. And she's also not, and I've said this before too, Taylor Swift is also not making like life-changing, amazing, like Alanis Morissette, Sarah McLachlan, pop music that like really like reaches deep down into your soul, like real like great material. And this bitch has 2 Album of the Year Grammys. Like, come on, like let's be honest. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. People don't want to put in the work, especially the mental work. They put people's feelings on the back burner, etc., to be liberated and woke. People want to be in denial. Yes, Georgia Smith versus Now. I love both of them, but Georgia is blowing up more. It's easier on their ego. How does Bruno Mars pay homage and credit when he's being sued by multiple plaintiffs for Uptown Funk? Sam Smith is another example. He's literally just a male version of Adele and people love him. And I'm just over here like, okay, sure. Thank you, Chiramoya8. I see you. Like Adele has 2 diamond albums and Beyonce has none. Ow, my foot's falling asleep, y'all. Ow, my foot's falling asleep. I'm just sitting on the floor on the iPad. My foot is falling asleep. Like if you put Beyonce's body of work up to Taylor Swift and Adele's, they don't compare. Yet Beyonce still doesn't have one. It's a shame. Oh, y'all talk about when I said white people nosy. They are. They mad nosy. They mad nosy. They snooping. White people always have to be snooping because they never want to be left out. LOL at nosy. I don't need no frauds. White people are lurkers. Sorry. You said you're getting motion sickness from all the movement. Sorry. I just put the iPad back on the floor. My favorite thing about this is on Twitter how all the white folks are screaming about how much they love Bruno. Right, when we're literally not, like, no one's even talking to you. Where are you going? To the little nun's room, nosy. Sister Act. Snipers all up on that fence. Red pill is like a white Reddit thing. And somebody said red pill. So I was just like, what are you even doing here? Like, this literally has nothing to do with you. The fence has a watchtower with armed guards because it's a prison, which I also said on the Grapevine, which is also how I know that people didn't watch the full Grapevine video, because some NPR dude had like tweeted the clip and was like, well, what about Beyonce, who is the most nominated fucking Grammy Award winning artist, who's like arguably the biggest artist in the world. Like, what about Beyonce? Which is hilarious because somebody literally said that exact same thing, word for word, on the Grapevine. It's like there's a handbook. It's like, oh, people talking about cultural appropriation? Let me turn to page 3, verse 7 of the cultural appropriation handbook. Let me pull the lines out. It'd be the exact same lines that people use over and fucking over and over and over again, right? And I even said on the Grapevine, and I also have said several times, I was like, yes, Beyonce has been nominated. She's like the most nominated artist in history, and she won like 22 Grammys or whatever. I was like, but what they do with black people, talking about fences, is that they corral us in the nigger sections. So yeah, you could win an urban contemporary Grammy, sure. You could win a best R&B song Grammy, whatever. You could win a best R&B live performance Grammy, whatever. You could maybe even win a best rap album Grammy, unless you're going up against a white person, because then no, you won't. But will they put you in the big 4 categories? Will you win album of the year? No. Will you win record of the year? No. Will you win song of the year? No. They will throw you 22 nigger Grammys. Yes, they will. Have these nigger Grammys. Stay in this nigger fucking section. But that doesn't make what I'm saying untrue. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, what are y'all talking about? Like, there's so much like false equivalences going on, and people just have their heads in the sand. But people really have their heads in the sand when it comes to this racism shit. They don't understand not a damn thing about racism for real. That's really something that I've like come to accept also in doing my work. People don't understand nothing. They don't understand nothing about racism. Nothing. I see y'all comments. What I personally think is that all black artists should stop even going to the Grammys, because they use black artists for ratings, which I have a whole video that's literally called Fuck the Grammys, or like the Grammys are racist or something like that. I have a whole video called like The Oscars Are Racist, because what they do is they use black creatives and they use black talent. They had SZA perform about 3 times at the Grammys. They had Cardi B and Migos sitting front row at the Grammys. They use this talent as a way to draw in eyeballs and as a way to get money from ratings. But then they be like, oh, but we're not going to give you niggers shit. But you're going to keep coming to our award shows year after year because you want these awards, because you want this validation that we are never going to give you. And that's part of the problem too. Wanting that validation. That's part of it too. That's a big part of it. Yeah, I got blocked on Twitter. I got locked for 7 days. Is there anything here? I got locked. I'm locked up. So I'll probably be here for about 10, 15 more minutes, and then I'm going to go. Grammys are low-key like the Cotton Club. Black people can perform, but that's it. What else? Grammys are a music industry circle jerk. You can't ignore the Grammys because of us now. It represents a status symbol. But why though? Like, why does it represent a status symbol, right? It represents a status symbol all these things that we use to like denote value, right? Especially like award shows, since we're talking about award shows right now at this moment. All these things that all these symbols, these are symbols, right? All these symbols that we use to denote value, they have value because we give them value, right? If all the Black artists stop going to the awards and stop talking about the Grammys, and everybody on Black Twitter stop group mass communal watching it together and tweeting about it, and we acted like the Grammys and the Oscars and everything else was just another regular day, how is it still a status symbol? How does it still convey value? We give it value, right? So that's why I say I wish that all these artists would just stop going and stop talking about it and not giving a fuck about it. We give these things value. We are the ones that give it value because that's the type of shit that we value. So I think Black people alone do give it value because Black people, specifically Black Americans, we create culture and we drive culture. We determine what is valuable in terms of culture. So, like, for example, the Migos, I'm just keep using them as an example. The Migos go to the Grammys and they sit front row, right? So all their fans are going to watch because they want to see them. Because now they're watching them on Instagram getting ready. And they're like looking at what they're wearing and they're looking at what kind of jewelry they put it on. And they want to like go see, you know, what they're going to do. Are they going to perform? You know, they're giving it value. They're giving it relevance. Black people are pop culture, so we can dictate what is and isn't important. I didn't see Straight Outta Compton, so I have not seen it. People only look at snippets and headlines and they make comments like they're informed. Iggy Azalea does not have a Grammy, but I remember that year that she was really, really big, like 2 or 3 years ago. She got nominated for like 3 or 4 Grammys. I think 4. Because I remember 2 of them were in the rap category and 2 of them were in the pop category. And I remember people were making a big deal about that because they were like, Nicki Minaj like has never been nominated for a pop Grammy. They never put Nicki in like the big pop categories, even though she makes pop music. They always put her in like the rap and R&B categories. People were like, that's racist. They were like, they put her in the pop category because she's white. FKA Twigs has said the same thing. Twigs was like, when I was like an anonymous artist and nobody knew what I looked like and I was just putting out music, she was like, my music was called alternative. It was called experimental. Like, you know, it wasn't put in any type of like genre category. She was like, but once people saw that I was Black, now all of a sudden I'm making R&B and all of a sudden my stuff is getting put in R&B categories. Like, that's a real thing. That's not some made up shit. Like, that's not some made up shit. Hi, Jelani. Thank you. I see that you did super chat. I wish, but y'all talking about the awards. Black artists should just boycott the Grammys. They use gifs and pics of Beyonce to get people interested in the Grammys like they're not slick. Yeah. Oscar's gonna Oscar. What else is new? A Black artist boycott of the Grammys would cripple them. Even white people would get bored. Yeah. Like I said on the fucking grapevine, I was like, hip hop is the #1 most listened to genre in the United States. It surpassed rock like last month. Like if Black people stopped going, like they would still have those bullshit ass white artists, but those bullshit ass white artists were not sitting front row. You know who was sitting front row? The Migos. Because they know that's what people want to see. The Oscars, the year after Oscars So White had the lowest views ever. Black people have power over ratings. What happened to something happened to my Instagram? What happened to my Instagram? Did something happen to my Instagram? Nothing. My Instagram's still there. I just opened it up. It's still there. My Instagram's fine. I got locked on Twitter. I got locked on Twitter for 7 days. Where? In other words, screw Oscar validation. We make things popular. What about the white gatekeeper? Somebody is signing the Migos check and it's not a black person. Yeah, and that's a part of it too. Capitalism. I'm sure you go to the Grammys and you get a check, or you do this collaboration, you get a check. You do this, you do that, you get a check, and people want them checks because capitalism is the devil. You guys know how I feel about capitalism. Yeah. I see y'all talking about Anderson .Paak. A lot of these black artists are not independent. We elevate those spaces because we are the creators. I'll really be excited when we have our own viable economic infrastructure. You and me both. I'm glad Igloo lost her career after fighting with Papa John's. Yes, if black artists stopped going, the Grammys would just disappear. Yeah. Yeah. MFs love to make think pieces. I have not seen that Apple Home ad, but it's in my watch later list on YouTube. I want to watch it. I hate that people say FK Twigs is R&B and she's not. What's going on? Hi, Kari. Kari, I saw you in the comments on the grapevine. That shit was mad funny. We was cracking mad jokes in there. Joking. We was joking. Then Bruno Mars fans were mad. They were like hella mad. White people really don't want us to be absent. They will realize just how vapid and bland they are with just themselves. I said that in my Black Women That Shape Me video. I was like, if all black people disappeared tomorrow, because this was the topic of a short story that I can't think of the name of it, but it was like if aliens came and like took all the black people away, what would happen? Bitch, the world would end. Like, people would be so lost if they did not have black people. If they didn't have black people to do all this labor for them, if they didn't have black people to like create all this fucking driving culture, like people would really like, they would not know what to do. Seriously. It's blend. It's blend. It's blend. It's blend. I see you, Aurora. It's fine. They'll never shut down the real Napster. Aurora said, I'm sorry about the attacks and the silencing. And I said, they'll never shut down the real Napster. These moderators are the best. I don't even see the rude comments, just that they're deleted. Oh, Scrambled Eggs, was that you on Instagram? Oh my God, that shit was so funny. That shit was so funny. The girl was like, I'm mad at what you have to say about Bruno Mars and you need to like shut your ass up. And I was like, you here on my page talking to me though? And she was like, yeah, and I'm going to continue to talk and you don't have to like it. And I was like, well, I'm going to continue to talk about Bruno Mars and you don't have to like it. And then she was like, whatever. I was like, yeah, whatever then, bitch. Whatever. Y'all are quick with these blocks. I go to block somebody and it's already done. We are the creators, originators, and mixers of culture. FKA Twigs does have a bit of R&B influence, but she's definitely mostly trip hop and experimental electronic. I think she prefers to be categorized as experimental and alternative. I think she has an issue with being categorized as R&B, and that's how people want to categorize her. And she's right. Like, it's whack. It's not fair. Somebody mentioned Luke James. Luke James commented on the matter. He supports Bruno Mars, even though he's one of the artists being affected by colorism and racism within the industry. I really don't give a fuck about people supporting Bruno Mars. I really don't. And like, at no point did I say like bitches need to stop supporting Bruno Mars or stop buying his records or stop going to see him or whatever, what the fuck ever. I really don't fucking care about Bruno. My point is what Bruno represents in terms of the larger system of racism, white supremacy, and how even non-black persons of color can perpetrate that shit against black bodies. If niggas want to act like they don't understand that, or if niggas really don't understand that, that sounds like a personal problem to me. Black artists won't boycott the Grammys because they want that mainstream white approval. What do you mean, like fake live streams? Fake live streams? FKA Twigs isn't R&B. That's so whack. What time is it? 5 more minutes and I gotta go, guys. Somebody said Luke James is lost. He's lost. Getting my blocks in, I'm flexing and waiting. Bruno Mars is for people who like black music and culture but don't like black people. I want aliens to take us. Honestly, I'm waiting for it. No, Napster's not alive. It's a quote. It's a quote from something. It's a quote. Oh, Kari, you did super chat. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Whoever wrote the short story about the effects of black people disappearing, they're right. Black people legit support their own erasure. My thing is, getting back to the Bruno Mars thing, my thing about the Bruno Mars thing is that Bruno Mars is like really talented. And I feel like that makes it difficult for people because they would say like, oh, Iggy Azalea is like not fucking talented, right? Somebody like her. Like, we just use her for an example. And I think people just like to talk about what's easy, which is why I also said that we kind of have to get past this like white-black dichotomy in a lot of ways, because it's very easy to talk about Iggy Azalea, who's an Australian white bitch that puts on a literal black accent, a fake Southern accent to rap as a cultural appropriator. That's pretty easy to talk about, you know? And as I said before, and as I said on the Grapevine panel, if people watch the whole thing, we've gotten to a place in our collective consciousness where it's really easy to talk about white people as cultural appropriators and, you know, white people in these certain types of ways. It gets harder. It gets much more difficult to talk and think about artists that we like, or people that we think are really, really talented, or people that, you know, are non-black people of color. It gets harder. And people don't want to do that hard work. And it's like, I like Bruno Mars. I think his music's really catchy. I think he's really talented. I think he can really sing and dance, which I don't disagree with. Bruno Mars is super fucking talented. He can definitely sing and dance. A lot of the music is quite catchy. But that doesn't mean that we can't have a hard, difficult conversation about what does he represent. And the fact that people are, you just said defensive, the fact that people are so defensive about it, I think is really telling. You know, I think it's really telling. Oh, well, Bruno is just fucking so talented and he can sing and he can dance and you're just mad. Well, no one's even denying that Bruno can sing and dance. What does that mean about his place in the system of racism, white supremacy as a non-black person of color acting as a gateway, a conduit to blackness? Like, you know, but that's hard. That's difficult. That's not something that you could just sit on the surface and think about and talk about. And I think it makes people uncomfortable. And that's why they become so defensive about it. And I've been on YouTube for years. Like, I've had videos get posted on 4chan and Reddit and like literally make it to the front page, where I received some of like the wildest commentary and like emails and shit that I've ever received in my life from like racist white people. So if I could fucking get through that shit and still be here, like, no Bruno Mars fan's gonna run me out of nowhere. Like, I don't, No Bruno Mars fan raised against me gonna prosper, bitch. What else? Hi, Fat Beer 85. Thank you. Saran all on social media, mouth like liquor. You know, you that bitch when you cause all this conversation. So obviously I'm that bitch, right? Obviously I'm that bitch, right? Obviously I'm that bitch, right? I'm that bitch. Somebody was like, oh, this girl came on my Instagram and was like, oh, you talking all this shit, but Bruno Mars is trending, not you. I was like, yeah, bitch, that's why you on my Instagram page and not Bruno Mars's, right? And she did not write back. She didn't write back. I was like, yeah, because I'm that bitch. I'm causing all this fucking conversation because I'm that bitch. You here on my page. You're not on Bruno Mars' page. Ho. Dumbasses. They dumb. They don't even know what's going on. Oh, yeah, we still doing Enemy of the State. Yeah, we still going to do Enemy of the State on Sunday. I always cause convo because I'm always that bitch, I guess. The gag. Who? I didn't write back? Oh, no, the girl. The girl didn't. No, the girl did not write me back. She didn't write back. She didn't write back. She disappeared like the ghost of Christmas past. She was transparent, bitch. She disappeared. We stay at a smart mouth. I love you. I love you. Y'all know I have a smart mouth. I say anything. I say whatever. I say whatever. She did not say anything after that. She disappeared. She ain't say nothing. She ain't say nothing. Nothing. She had nothing to say. Nothing. I wouldn't write you back either. It was on IG. You've been through that mess of yes, all white people. We would be just fine after this. Well, you're in Taiwan. Hi. I love everyone. I haven't done that MBTI. That's that personality thing, right? I'm an introvert. So I don't know. I know I'm an introvert for the most part. I just be chilling. All right, I'm gonna get ready to go soon. People are really ready to fight about Bruno. Yeah, they big mad. They big mad. But like I said, people like Bruno. And it's not easy to talk about Bruno in the way that it's easy to talk about like a white person. INTP. What's INTP? INTJ? INFP? I don't know what these mean. You have to be a Sag. I am a Sag. Oh, what gave it away? What gave it away? What gave me away? You said I'm an introvert. You would not have guessed. This is the thing about YouTube, right? Like I'm live on YouTube right now, right? I'm home alone. I'm home alone in my apartment. No one's here. So. Oh yeah, I told my mom. I like sent her all the links and everything. She was like, oh my God. Serena's a Sagittarius. You're inside my brain. I've turned over these thoughts years ago. Seeing other people who know what it is comforting because really I was thinking I was the crazy one. No, you're not. You're not. You're not. Y'all know I don't like Erykah Badu, but one thing that Erykah Badu did say that I liked was that it's always hard for a person that goes against the grain and thinks for themselves. Always. And that's true. And that's also why I'm very public with the things that I say and do, because it's like, we out here. You're not alone. Hi, Lammy. Yeah, I'm going to go. I've been on here for a while. I'm going to go. Jackson 5 MJ with that fro. Oh, yeah. I like my Negro nose with Jackson 5 nostrils and afros. That makes so much fucking sense now. We sag, say what we feel. Plus, you're introverted. Sag gang. Sag gang, 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 gang. Your unapologetic freeness gave it away. Ha ha. Yeah, I'm a Sag. Jay, you said come back on Twitter. I'm locked. They blocked me. They locked my account for 7 days because Bruno Mars people are reporting me. So they locked my account for 7 days. I appealed it, so we'll see if I get back on. But that's why I'm live, because somebody had asked me if I could like elaborate. Somebody asked me on Twitter, on Instagram. They'd be like, why are you not on Twitter? Can you like elaborate? And I was like, I can't tweet anything because I'm locked. I'm locked for 7 days. So she was like, oh, could you go live on YouTube or something and talk about it? And I was like, sure. Excuse me. I watch you and feel I'm not alone. I'm so glad, babes. I just want to say you went off on that video. You hit it right on the nose, and now you got these people so pressed. Don't forget us when you're famous. Yeah. If I could get back on later. I'm going to try and get back on later on. I was supposed to be in the middle of doing laundry, and I just took 2 hours off from doing laundry to do this live stream. Yeah, I think I will make a backup Twitter account. So, just in case. But I have already said that I don't fuck with Twitter because this isn't the first time that I've gotten locked on Twitter. I got locked on Twitter for 7 days before for calling Miley Cyrus a cultural appropriator and for also calling Miley Cyrus white trash. They said that was hate speech, and they locked me off Twitter for 7 days. So Twitter has been with the shits. Like, let's not get it fucking twisted. Twitter has been with the shits. So maybe I will make a backup. Account. We'll see. So, all right. I'm going to try and come back later. I'm about to go and finish my laundry. Bye, you guys. Thank you for everyone that did super chat. Oh, Gucci, I see you. Wait, let me read Gucci's before I go. Oh, you're a true inspiration. That's mushy, but your words really set the net on fire. And despite people coming at your neck, you're handling it with grace. All respect and love to you. Buy her book, y'all. Bye. Well, on that note, I'm going to try and come back and see y'all later. Bye, guys.